So I haven't posted in a while, dealing with vertigo that seems to be coming and going. Today seems to be a decent day where I was able to get to Starbucks. Trying to record this, but I don't know how the background noise is going to be. But it is what it is. So today's topic, nothing deep, a simple question actually. And that question is, what have you done today to make someone's life better, easier? You know, all of us are going through our own unique challenges. And, you know, many of us don't particularly share the challenges, the obstacles, the pain that we're going through with others. But if you are a leader, you would have the skill set to be able to engage with your team, engage with others around you, and use your ability to detect that there's some behavioral change. Right? So as a leader, what you're doing is when you're interacting with people, you are also gauging them, picking up the verbal and nonverbal cues to understand that, okay, there's something going on. Sometimes it's right in your face where someone will come and tell you the challenges that they're having. And in other cases, you'll detect slight changes in their behavior. And as a leader, you have to figure out how do you engage that person to, at minimum, let them know that they have someone that they can turn to for help. They have someone who's willing to offer their ear. They have someone who's willing to offer their shoulder. And they have someone just to be beside them. You know, there are many times where I've gone out with friends and we were sitting down on the rooftop of Conrad, Istanbul, you know, looking at the moonset or watching the submarines go by or the dolphins swimming, etc. And we just sat there staring out, didn't even have to say anything, but we both took comfort in the fact that here are two friends that have known each other for 20, 30 years, and we can just chill and not really chill and take comfort in the fact that we're still friends, right? So I wanted to share with you, as a leader, the impact you can have. So sometimes we try to think of what is this big impact that we can do or we can have on the world, on the people. Like, how can I solve climate change? How can I cure cancer? How can I, you know, bring peace to all the wars that are going on all over the world, right? But sometimes it starts with simple, small steps. So one example that really opened my eyes was that I had on a trip to Hyderabad, India, my hometown place where I was born as well. I was sitting with my service desk team and I was having a one-on-one with one of the service desk employees. And she sat across from me. She had tears in her eyes, telling me how she was being made to work 14, 16-hour days, but only being paid for 8 hours. And after finishing her shift at a time when transportation was no longer available late at night, she would have to go get her own transportation. And this was during times when the transportation drivers were purposely holding off, you know, dropping the girls until they were the last passengers and then raping them or assaulting them, etc. So she was one of many. Some were married, some had young infants. There were men as well who spoke of long hours, not being paid for the hours that they worked, completely broken, right? And this was a common theme, right? Across the employees. And if you looked at the local management, with the exception of a few, many didn't care. And Western management turned a blind eye, right? Because Indians were cheap labor. And in fact, you know, the sentiment was that who gives a shit about them? They're all the way there. You know, we hired them to do a job. Who cares if their local management mistreats them? We're not mistreating them. We're getting the cost benefit. So let's just focus on our lives over here, right? And as an Indian, this challenged me because I'm a Canadian Indian, grew up in Canada, and I looked at this from the lens of an Indian as well as a lens of a Western leader. right? And when I tried to reach out and express, my hurt and my disappointment at seeing my people being treated this way, what was the response? Right? They saw me as a shit disturber. Right? We told you to go down there and meet your team, say hello, buy them pizza, and then get lost. Right? Who cares what they're going through? Who cares how many hours they're working? Right? We're getting the cost benefit. They're managing to get the work done. Quality could be better, but at least, we're saving. And our global strategy is to shift more and more work to India, hire more and more Indians in management positions, leadership positions. So if you start complaining that the Indian management team isn't ready to deal with employee engagement, enablement, empowerment, then you're actually going against what our strategy is. Right? So there was a target on my back. The Western executives were troubled at my disclosures and felt their business model will be negatively impacted if word got out. The Indian management targeted the local staff to keep their mouths shut, and or not only would they lose their jobs, but they will not get any other jobs. Right? So what I wanted to say is that as a leader, before we get too deep into this particular use case, as a leader, what I did was I gave my time to that resource that was reaching out to me. I gave my time to all the resources in Hyderabad, in Bangalore, in Gurgaon, made myself available to them. I was transparent and open with them. I told them, the things that I could do and the things that I would try to do. And if there's certain things I couldn't do, I would be open with them to say that they were outside my sphere of control. So, yes, dream a big dream, but start with a small step. So as you wake up in the morning, ask yourself, what can I do to make someone's life better today? It could be, start with your own life. What can you do to make your life better today? Right? What can you do to encourage your kids? What can you do to support your parents, your brother, your sister, your cousins, your relatives, your neighbor? Right? Start with small steps and let it add up.